There's still a lot of uncertainty around, but we're starting to hear at least projections on, okay, college football is looking at revving back up on time. The NFL is releasing their schedule this season with the hope that they'll be able to kick off again on time, and that would certainly bode well for a lot of the fall sports and the opportunity for softball to have fall ball, which, as we know, is a pretty big deal for a lot of the younger players to get incorporated with their teams.
Yeah, I was actually reading up on this before we got on the podcast, and there's 3 phases of the opening up America again that the federal guidelines are going to go through, and the colleges are going to follow those phases as well. So to try to stay on the same trajectory. But the thing that was pointed out in this article was that the NCAA acknowledged that each institution will come at a different time. So this isn't going to be like, all right, everybody opens up and socialization or re-socializations all at the same time. Everybody will come at a different time, which that will be a whole other podcast that we can talk about, is who's going to be first, who's going to be last, how will that affect their teams, their coaches, recruiting, all the things.
Well, and who's going to be the test dummies? Not test dummies, that's the wrong way to put it, but who's going to be that test pool of athletes? And we're seeing it now with baseball in Asia. The Taiwanese Baseball League has already started. Opening day is this week for the South Korean, the KBO Baseball Association, which ESPN is now going to air because it's live baseball on television. But a lot of concern in South Korea, I've talked to players already, is there's always going to be a next wave when you're talking about a novice disease. And so with this, when that comes back, MLB has all eyes right now, especially in South Korea, of how this is going to work without fans, limited umpires, limited media. And if there is another outbreak of corona, we're going to see a delay, I think, for everything that we're talking about.
I wanted to say one thing that I learned this week from the Big 12 Commissioner, Bob Bowlesby, is we had a very frank discussion, Amanda, about what you're saying is everyone is not on the same timeline. And part of that reason is that COVID-19 has affected different parts of the country differently. Different communities have been hit harder than most. Think about Seattle, where the University of Washington plays. That has been one of the epicenters. Whereas Oklahoma City, and Norman, where the Sooners play, has been very minorly impacted. So he did say that there could be a scenario where different universities can return to play at different times, and that a conference would not necessarily wait for all members of that conference to be able to resume play. It is that important that college football resumes and that the economic impact can resume. And so let's say, I'm throwing out just as an example, if Texas can't come back at the same time Oklahoma can, Oklahoma might start playing football games before Texas.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting too for the fans, the amount of travel. Does a team come in and it's only the team that the fans have to watch the games on television? I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of different ways to try to create a safe environment, and it still, as a nation, we're still going to have to wash our hands, social distance, do all the things that we've been doing to help keep this at bay as much as possible. But I think that as we move forward, it's going to be a learning lesson on many different fronts. And I do like the fact that we are keeping an open mind that some areas that have not been touched quite as hard have the opportunity to continue to move forward.